Hey there, guys. This is Alrighty with Good Guys Gear, and we've had to admit that we suck at shooting pistols. It's unfortunate, but we tried to blame it on the Makarov sights the first time, and then that we were having a bad day during our lousy failure drills, if you saw that one. And we can only go on like that so long. But we're not going to lie about it and pretend that we don't suck or anything like that. Instead, we are going to bring you guys along as we try to develop our pistol skills, and hopefully seeing our drills work for us, if they do, might help you if you're suffering from some of the same issues. So today, we are going to be doing a series of snap cap drills. Unfortunately, we're not going to have every shot on film because we're probably going to drop the hammer like 200 times each, and so we'd make an hour-long film with 100 live rounds fired. But anyway, so that's what we're doing, snap cap drills. You can see our targets set up back here behind us. First, we're each just going to fire a 10-round control group, and that should roughly approximate our shooting up till now. Can't even guarantee they'll all be on the target. I think they will, but it is what it is. And then we'll move on to talking about each phase of our snap cap shooting, and hopefully at the end we'll be able to show you an improvement with another 10-round drill that we can, or target that we can compare to our first one. So anyhow, we're going to get set up here and each shoot our control group, and then we'll get on to the next phase. Alrighty, so there are our control groups. We'll pull our targets over here and take a look. We're shooting from about 10 yards. So here we have our two control groups. This is Kickstand on the left, and Alrighty over here. If you notice, I was riding my last shot lockback. I don't know what the deal is. It's something I just need to work on. Another part of sucking at pistols, but I'm sure we'll get onto that kind of training as well. But anyway, so the number one thing that we're concerned with about our accuracy is that we're flinching and pulling our shots or pre-compensating for recoil or whatever. And the other thing that you can do is you can simply move the gun when you squeeze the trigger. So the next thing we're going to do is just some dry fire exercise up close on the pistol, and that way you'll be able to see the amount to which the pistol is moving simply from us dropping the hammer, and then we will move on to the next phase of the drill. Alright, so first I've got a snap cap in here. I'm just going to squeeze the trigger a few times, cock the hammer, and you'll be able to see how much the gun is moving. So Kickstand will get really up close where you can pretty much just see the gun. Alright, so you can see there's not a whole lot of movement there. I'll film the same thing on Kickstand, and then we'll move on. Alrighty. Alrighty, so the next thing we're going to do here to verify whether or not we are pre-compensating for recoil or flinching is we each loaded a number of rounds in the other shooter's magazine with a snap cap somewhere. And so, relatively rapidly, we are each going to shoot at the target until we run up on that snap cap, and the camera will be up close to the gun, so you'll be able to see the recoil during the shooting, and then what happens when the hammer drops on the snap cap, and that'll give us an idea how much of our inaccuracy might be based off of pre-compensation or flinching. Alright, did you all catch that? How much the gun dropped there? It's, I'm gonna go ahead and clear here really quick. Now, it's embarrassing to admit that I moved the gun that much. But, it is what it is. That's what we're here for, and that's why we're showing you this video. So, now we'll run the same drill on kickstand, and we'll get an idea if or how much he moves the gun when he drops on the snap cap, and we will continue on from there. Alright, now kickstand's gonna run. Y'all catch that? It was the exact same thing. We both tried to compensate for recoil, I think in more or less the same way, don't you?
I think so. I'm inclined to say that I compensated more.
But nevertheless, we both pushed forward and down.
Yeah, just straight.
Which, yeah, that would definitely cause an error. So, to move on and continue, we'll get to that in a moment. Okay, so the next phase of our drill is we're going to drop the hammer 50 times while aiming at our target and exercising trigger control on fully loaded magazines, but there will only be 10 live rounds in those 50 hammer drops, and the other person will be loading the magazines, so we won't know where they are. So as you could see how we were capable of steadily pulling the trigger without moving the firearm on snap caps, we should then be able to establish what a flinch-free group might look like, and that's what we're going to do now. This is getting onto the part where we're not going to film everything because we're probably going to be running this part of this for quite a while for both of us to get our 50 rounds in, or should I say 50 hammer drops. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll get back to you and show you what our theoretically flinch-free group looks like. Okay guys, so we ran our 50 trigger pulls with our 10 live rounds, and here are Alrighty's two, my two. You can see I didn't get rid of any of my vertical, but side to side I did a lot better, and overall I feel like it's a tighter group, this being our control group, and that's my 10 theoretically flinch-free rounds, although I can tell you squeezing through 50 rounds, knowing every one of them could be live, pretty difficult to do perfectly. But if one could, that gives you an idea the improvement that's possible, only being about 15 rounds into shooting today. Or I'm sorry, 25. And here we have Kickstand's first group.
I feel like there's a more significant improvement in mine than in yours, actually.
There is. He has one flyer up here, but outside of that, this is the 10 out of 50 versus the control group. So you can see the progress that's possible. Now, probably if we started shooting live rounds, a full live round group wouldn't look that much better than our original control group. But the next phase of this drill is to move on steadily through about 50 live rounds and a whole bunch of trigger squeezes to 100% live ammo. Just slowly creeping from mags that have a majority of snap caps to mags that have a majority of live rounds. So that's what we're going to work on next. It started raining a little bit, but it looks like it'll blow out. Again, we're not going to film all of that because it's probably going to take a long time, but we'll probably drop in once or twice through there and talk about how we feel like it's going. But anyhow, we'll be back with you. Okay, guys, so it quit raining, and we're back. So this is, again, my first target. That's our control target of my pre-drill group. And there's my second target where we fired 50 hammer drops or trigger squeezes with 10 live rounds. And now this is, I honestly have no idea how many times we squeezed the trigger on this last set here, but that is 50 rounds among probably 200 hammer drops, I would say.
Yeah.
So that is my group there. We'll compare it to a finger at 10 yards. Alrighty, and we'll go on to kickstand. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is my 10 round control group, or, 9, because that's all it was actually on the target. This is my 10, where we were trying flinch free. That's that 10 and 50 that he was talking about. And then this is my, 50 and 200 or so, like, same thing he was talking about.
I have to say, a huge part of this big hole was as the exercise went on.
It was.
We basically stopped seeing holes appear at some point, more or less, I think.
Yeah, I noticed in a few groups from the end that this chewed out, and then I kind of stopped seeing holes, so it tightened as it went.
Yeah. So now, we are each going to shoot another 10-round control group at a target, knowing it's 10 live rounds, and we'll see what we get, and we'll compare that to our original control group, and then once we're done with that, we will do one final, full magazine, or number of rounds in a magazine, with a single snap cap to see if we've reduced our pre-compensation or flinching at all. And then we'll sum everything up, guys. So here I am. I'm going to go ahead and run my 10-round control group. Loaded my own mag, so I know there are 10 live rounds in here. And we'll get to compare it to the original control group. There you got a little preview of how much I flinch. And now this is going to be Kickstand's 10-round control group. And now we'll take a look at them, guys, see what we did. Got that on film for you guys. So, there's my first control group. There's my second. Honestly, I was pulling down on a little bit low, but unfortunately, I have to say, I did not personally tighten up as much as I was hoping to see. But, this... Go ahead.
Here's my first control group. Like I said, only even got 9 out of 10 on the paper. And here's my second control group. I feel like it's still not quite as tight as Alrighty's, but I feel like there's a lot of improvement in that group over this. I mean, I got 7 shots in the black versus 2 in the black. You know, I'm happy with the progress I've seen in this drill.
I would absolutely say so. For only having run about
under
about 70,
rounds
yeah, 70 rounds maybe each, or 75 rounds each. I feel like, especially kickstand, he definitely percentage-wise made more progress so far with this drill than I have. Although I am happy that I'm shooting more centered. That's good to see for me. But anyhow, more progress to be made. We're going to go ahead now and just load a number of rounds with a snap cap in each other's mag. And see what we're doing for a flinch now at this point. And then we'll be done, guys. Okay, so kickstand's going to get in really close here on my pistol. And I'm going to shoot a number of rounds. And then there will be a snap cap in there. And we will see if I flinch as bad as I did when I rode my snap cap or my slide release down on the control group. That was pretty pitiful, guys. Maybe I'll do that again. I kind of did a little bit there. I have to say I was still compensating some. That's probably, honestly, why I didn't make as much progress as kickstand did. So now we'll go ahead and we'll see what he gets. So now we'll finish up. And here we're going to see the progress that kickstand has made. Little bit.
Still flinched quite a bit, in my opinion.
I do feel like you made progress, though, and your group definitely tightened.
Yeah.
So you are in a better place. But anyhow, there we are, guys. That's our snap cap drill thing. We'll have to see if any of the improvement that we experienced bears out in our next pistol video where we're not running drills. We're both going to continue working on our trigger squeeze, and we will be making more videos on improving our accuracy. We're going to move on to other things, different kinds of drills, and increasing speed, draw, and eventually, because of the kind of pistols that we're shooting, getting the double action first shot, single action second shot down, because if you're going to carry a gun like these as your self-defense weapon, that is a critical part of it, because those first 2 shots, as we said in the 9mm sucks video, those first 2 shots are statistically all you've got. So it'd be best if they were both good. And that's something that we've both struggled with, so we'll be doing similar drills, probably involving snap caps again, to work on that, and we'll get back with you, and then eventually we'll get on to some just flat out fun where we just shoot for giggles instead of, getting better at shooting. But anyhow, thanks guys, Good Guys Gear, and Kickstand and Alrighty. I also want to mention that we don't have any way to edit anything that we're doing. So I know, in the 9 Sucks video, made a couple of mistakes and stuff while I was talking, but we can't get rid of it. So if you see us say something and you're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense, just see if we cited it in our description of the video, because if we catch something, we will make mention of it. So just check that out, and it'll also just give you an idea what we're about. But anyway, thanks guys. Alrighty, in kickstand.